Hello, friends. Welcome to today's devotional, Psalm 86, and the end of this week's devotions. Incline your ear, O Lord, and answer me, for I am poor and needy. Preserve my life, for I am devoted to you. Save your servant who trusts in you. You are my God. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for to you do I cry all day long. Gladden the soul of your servant, for to you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. For you, O Lord, are good and forgiving, abounding in steadfast love to all who call on you. Give ear, O Lord, to my prayer. Listen to my cry of supplication. In the day of my trouble, I call on you, for you will answer me. There is none like you among the gods, O Lord, nor are there any works like yours. All the nations you have made shall come and bow down before you, O Lord, and shall glorify your name. For you are great and do wondrous things. You alone are God. Teach me your ways, O Lord, that I may walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart to revere your name. I give thanks to you, O Lord my God, with my whole heart, and I will glorify your name forever. For great is your steadfast love toward me. You have delivered my soul from the depths of Sheol. O God, the insolent rise up against me. A band of ruffians seeks my life, and they do not set you before them. But you, O Lord, are a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. Turn to me and be gracious to me. Give your strength to your servant. Save the child of your serving girl. Show me a sign of your favor, so that those who hate me may see it and be put to shame, because you, Lord, have helped me and comforted me. So this psalm attributed to David is here we find once again the writer of this psalm in fairly deep distress, just because of whatever circumstances are happening. We don't know the details of what's going on, which was the source of this psalm, but it seems though as part of that are the enemies, the insolent, as the psalmist writes in verse 14, are rising up against the psalmist and seeking his life. So not anything that we haven't heard dozens of times before, and as I've said probably in several of the devotions, that it is one of the things about the Psalms that I really do appreciate and enjoy is that it is a glimpse, if you will, a window into the heart and soul of the person who is writing the psalm. And when difficulty comes, who else could we or should we or can we turn to seek help but the one and only God? And though it is no guarantee that trouble's not going to come again, because over and over again we read these psalms, but in those times of trouble, the psalmist turns to God as should we, and continuing to seek God's praise and glory, but also with a sense of hope that is always there, that God is listening and things will get better, trusting in that, in the goodness and the faithfulness of God, as the psalmist writes, because God's proven himself over and over again to be faithful. And one of the things that really, kind of stuck with me in this one was verses 11 through 13 is, teach me your way, O Lord, that I may walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart to revere your name. And I give thanks to you, O Lord my God, with my whole heart, and I will glorify your name forever. For great is your steadfast love toward me. You have delivered my soul from the depths of Sheol. And I wish I could say that I had an undivided heart devoted completely to God. I don't, and I don't think any of us do. Certainly in this age or any age, that is a near impossibility, just because of the nature of who we are. We make decisions based on emotions, and our thoughts are sometimes controlled by our emotions, and too often we turn away from God and seek comfort in other places, or we seek pleasure of our own apart from God's truth and God's will, and then our heart is always going to be divided. But I think there's obviously effort that we can put in, things that we can do that will tip the scales, if you will, towards having more of an undivided heart towards God and being less attached to the things of this world. And sometimes the trials of our lives are what tip those scales for us, but it's the spiritual disciplines of, well, you know what they are. They're study of the scriptures and prayer and service and worship and all those things that lead us closer and closer to God, that connect us more deeply to God, that give us more insight into the will and the nature of God and awareness of his presence. How divided is your heart? I mean, really, self-examination is not always an easy thing, but it is something that we need to do on a regular basis, I think, just to sort of do a spiritual check, a faith check, if you will, to see where we are in our lives. And if you desire to have a deeper and more powerful and effective and functional faith and relationship with God, well, then, just like any friendship or relationship that we have with human people, there is things that we can do and should desire to do in order to get to that place of fostering that relationship with God, just as we do with human beings. And one of the reasons for that are explained in this psalm of the character and the nature of who God is, of steadfastness and slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. And in the end of verse 13, he delivered my soul from the depths of Sheol. God's delivered our soul from the depths of eternal separation from him, and that is the proof that we need, the sign that the psalmist looks for in Psalm 7, in verse 17, that reveals God's favor for us, and he wants good things for us. But if we're going to live in that reality, then certainly we need to seek God more in our life. So find ways to do that, whatever it might be. Journaling, prayer, thanksgiving. There's lots of different spiritual disciplines. Look them up on the internet. You might find something that connects with you. But I know in my own life, I have spent years building that relationship with God, and he certainly is my strength in times of trouble, and my hope, and my peace, and my joy. Until next week, we begin again with Psalm 87. Blessings to you all.